Threat Entity SCP-166, otherwise known as Teenage Succubus, is the child of incarnated LTE-9927 Black, the goddess, and an unknown father. While she strongly resembles her mother and shares her animalistic features, she lacks the extreme bestial appearance. Global Occult Coalition Strike Team Lancelot neutralized 9927 Black in England during an operation which would later be known as the infamous Cornwall Incident, but were unable to confirm the liquidation of 9927 Black child due to the death of the strike leader, Agent Ukulele. The agent, which had refused to terminate SCP-166, instead smuggled her to a Catholic convent in County Galway, Ireland. She lived there until the age of 12, at which point a visitor to the convent accidentally witnessed SCP-166 and reported her to the authorities. The agent then contacted the Foundation, agreeing to share GOC intelligence in return for the guaranteed safety and containment of SCP-166. A recording of one of SCP-166's bi-weekly interviews with Chaplain Davis provided some further insight into what she recalled of her parents. She states that she never knew her parents, being dropped off at the convent while just a baby. This evening's episode, SCP-166, Teenage Succubus. Don't forget to subscribe. The sisters took good care of her, and the only information she garnered was from hushed whispers and eavesdropping on conversations. The sisters soon became more secretive in her presence, as they believed they were protecting her. SCP-166 believes her mother to be some sort of goddess or spirit entity, hence her animal-like appearance. The sisters recalled that her mother had attempted some sort of ritual, which is what resulted in her death at the hands of the GOC. This, in fact, was Occult Procedure Clockwork Blackchild Havilah, a worldwide ritual that would irreversibly regress human civilization to Neolithic times. This ability to regress technology and man-made objects to their deconstructed forms, and even return them to organic nature, is SCP-166 and her mother's primary ability. They have the ability to return objects to their natural form. This is also the reason for the termination of 9927 Black, and the order to terminate SCP-166 on sight by the GOC. When she probed the sisters about her father, they revealed nothing. She feels abandoned by him and questions why he didn't stay with her and raise her. She also wonders if her mother was so terrible, what could her father be like? Redacted interview logs have revealed the agent responsible for SCP-166 being in Foundation custody as Agent Alto Clef. During a recorded log with Dr. Sophia Light, Agent Clef expressed anger and frustration regarding the circumstances of SCP-166's containment. Against Foundation orders, he arranged for a phone to be provided to SCP-166 so that she could converse with her chaplain. It's unknown what repercussions this act resulted in, but it became clear that Agent Clef feels some remorse and guilt due to the confinement of SCP-166. Dr. Light explained to him that he had little choice if he wanted to keep her safe, and that the Foundation was the best option available to him. Nonetheless, Agent Clef feels SCP-166 is not dangerous, and her confinement has resulted in her missing out on typical teenage activities. Not long after the disciplinary action, Agent Alto died. Typical Foundation procedures state an unknown cause of death and a tombstone with the name Jonathan Seeley was engraved. Agent Alto was a top asset of the Foundation, responsible for the liquidation of many high-risk entities. However, according to his overseers, he was experiencing burnout towards the end. He had requested desk work or even dismissal, but Dr. Light had denied his requests. Typically considered by his colleagues as being a difficult man and a womanizer, it was of great surprise when his classified cause of death was discovered, killed in a car crash on his way to pick up his daughter from ballet practice. It appears there was more to Agent Alto than had previously been assumed. Shortly after his death, a note was found in SCP-166's cell. It read, "I first met your mother when we were little more than children. She had hooves for feet and starlight in her eyes. She was beauty and nature incarnate, and I killed her with my own 2 hands. Eden isn't a place, it's a state of being. They wanted to take us back to it, and I stopped them. I took paradise away from us for a second time. I have never regretted my actions on that day, except one, that when you first met me on that day, you saw your father put a bullet into the head of your mother. I make no excuses, only explanation. You may not even have remembered it, but I'm telling you now in the hope you understand why I did what I did. I hope you forgive me. I love you. I wish I could have done more for you. The best I could do was leave you in the hands of kind and loving people and hope they would raise you in my place. From what I've seen, they did well. I'm sorry you couldn't stay with them. I'm sorry they brought you to this place. I promise to do my best to make sure your stay here is pleasant. I promise to keep you safe. Happy 16th birthday, from your loving father. SCP-166 is a European female of teenage age with ungulate features, possessing antlers, hoof feet, and a short tail reminiscent of a deer. Within a 15-meter radius of SCP-166, artificial objects gradually return to an unworked state. Higher complexity objects like electronics or vehicles are affected quicker, with degradation of their metallic components causing catastrophic structural failure in a matter of hours. Rudimentary materials such as stone buildings or products made of organic materials decay at a virtually imperceptible rate. Within the same radius, plant life will begin to sprout, often growing in improbable places such as out of security cameras or ID scanners. SCP-166 possesses a possibly anomalous sensitivity to artificial materials and pollutants, with inhalation or contact causing pressure ulcers and symptoms of acute asthma attacks. In one case, physical proximity to a smoker caused SCP-166 to undergo a severe asthma attack, even though the doctor at the time had not smoked a cigarette for 3 weeks. Quite the tragic tale. That poor little girl. I had no idea that the man who saved her would also be the man that killed her mother, or that very same man was her father, or that her father was the infamous Agent Alto Clef. Quite the surprise ending. For those of you that don't know, SCP-166 received a rewrite not long ago to update her character. Though much of it remains the same, some of the more, shall we say, questionable traits have been removed. I feel this only makes the story stronger and more interesting. Anyway, I do hope you enjoyed this tale, and be sure to stay tuned for more from my archives. As always, have a care and remember to subscribe, like, and share, if you would. I bid you farewell. Until next time.